This is a broadcast of SmallCapVoice.com, a financial communications and investor relations firm. SmallCapVoice.com receives payment for investor relations and financial consulting services that it provides to its clients. You should assume that officers, directors, and employees of SmallCapVoice.com or financial analysts mentioned and their families hold a position and intend to trade in these securities for their own accounts. This is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell securities. Information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be, nor should it be construed as, investment advice. As in all investments, an investment in the featured company carries an investment risk. Listeners should review the company thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This broadcast does not purport to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used and statements of fact have been obtained from the featured company and other sources but not verified nor guaranteed by SmallCapVoice.com as to completeness or accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice.
You're wired in. SmallCapVoice.com. Following is a presentation of SmallCapVoice.com, today's leader in investor relations, capital formation, and retail support. Now, with your online business briefing, SmallCapVoice.com's Stuart T. Smith.
Welcome one, welcome all to this online business briefing brought to you by SmallCapVoice.com. And as you just heard, I'm your host, Stuart Smith. Now, we are lucky to be joined today by a brand new client, Music of Your Life. Their ticker symbol is MYLI, and we're speaking today with the president and chief executive officer for the company, Mark Angel. Mark, how you doing today?
I'm great, Stuart. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to stop by and speak to our listeners here at SmallCapVoice.com, as well as the shareholders for your company. Now, for our listeners who may not be familiar with what you're doing there at MYLI, if you would, describe the business model and market for us now.
Well, Music of Your Life is the longest-running syndicated music radio network anywhere in the world. It was actually founded back in 1978 by a record executive named Al Hamm. And Al's concept was to basically record music and disc jockeys onto reel-to-reel tapes and distribute those to radio stations. And here we are, almost 34 or 5 years later, and we're still basically doing the same thing, except the delivery mechanism has changed. So we do have AM, FM, and HD radio station affiliates across the nation, but one of the biggest changes we've seen, as we all know, is Internet radio, and that's a space that we're very well developed in now.
Now, as the market has changed, new opportunities and new technologies have come along. You just mentioned internet marketing. That also then allows you to have a whole new revenue stream for your company. Clearly, the radio revenue market has been pretty well established and well documented. You make most of your money, I'm assuming, through advertising. But now you've got new display advertising in the internet radio space, as well as talk to us about Music of Your Life and the demographic that they reach. You and I were talking about this before the show yesterday. You guys have the sweetest demographic following you right now in terms of spending, which may make you a hot target for advertisers these days. So two-part question. Tell us, one, how the new technologies created new revenue streams, and two, tell us a little bit about your demographics.
So I'll answer the second part first. Historically, Music of Your Life has been airing what is called adult standards, and that's tunes from Sinatra and Tony Bennett, and Ella Fitzgerald, and the newer kids on the block, Michael Bublé and Bruno Mars, and that sort of type of music, including some big band. It's also known as the Great American Songbook. Well, that demographic has traditionally been, an older, more retired person, 65 up. And, while they are the demographic with the most discretionary spending available to them, they've typically not been the highest at the Internet usage, although these times they are changing very quickly. So to answer the first part with the second, we're now seeing a big influx of the baby boomer crowd using the Internet to buy everything from groceries to music. And we are certainly filling that bill. We've been on the Internet broadcasting since I took over 5 years ago. I have a technology background, and so I utilized my connections and my skill set in technology to bring Music of Your Life to a whole other audience. So what we've done is by matching technology with a traditional radio format, we've also lowered the demographic. So now our sweet spot is actually male and female 45 to 55, with the highest number of female 50 years old, and second would be male 55. So it's a pretty good target audience for us. We're actually playing 9 decades of hits, if you can imagine. You know, you're going to hear Bruno Mars right up against Frank Sinatra, and we find that if it's a hit record, it's pretty much timeless. And so we've capitalized on that large library. We have over 10,000 songs in our library. So, you know, once you take the internet, and everybody is quite well aware of all this internet listening, we're much more than what, you know, I consider Pandora and some of these others. We're not a radio jukebox or an online jukebox. We're actually an interactive listening experience. We have disc jockeys. All of our DJs are celebrities. It's one of our brands is where the stars play the stars, and we've had many celebrities over the years on the air with Music of Your Life, and we continue to do that to this day. So what we recently did is acquired a trademark called iRadio, and so we're going to also be offering additional channels or genres of music from rock and roll to country and jazz, etc. And we're going to be expanding our listener base by using iRadio, such that with the internet, the cost associated with increasing this bandwidth, if you will, or additional channels, the cost is negligible. When Music of Your Life first became an automated system, it was very, very expensive to deliver that. We're spending over $10,000 a month just to deliver one signal over a clear channel satellite. And now, with the invention of the Barracks box, we are now able to deliver that same exact signal, albeit a much cleaner signal, for fractions of the cost. I mean, we spend less than $500 a month just to provide that signal to our listening audience. So technology, new music, new branding, and Music of Your Life is about to head into the next chapter of its life.
Well, and to coin an old lyric, the times they are a-changing. So if you look at the radio industry, listeners, since the Great Recession, 2008 through 2010 time period, the market is coming back at a rate of 1.9% per year from 2010 to 2014, growing to a $17 billion market. Radio listening continues to grow as 92% of Americans 12 years old or older are tuning in each week. That's 244.4 million people. That's a record high. That number's as of April 2014. These are very recent statistics. 124 million Americans 12 and up now listen to internet radio. That's nearly twice as many people from a year ago. Just as you pointed out, Mark, even those baby boomers, they know how to work their computers. They're getting into the internet market. Internet radio grows, so does digital ad revenue, which is up 16% in 1 year from Radio Advertising Bureau. That's a March 2014 statistic. Radio Advertising Bureau also estimated spot revenue was up 4% to $14 billion. So this may be a niche that you listeners are not familiar with, but as Mark said, this is a very smart deal that's been around a long time with some new players and some new technologies putting a new spin on this market. So my next question for you, Mark, is what will you and your company be working on as the year 2014 continues on?
Our big push right now is to enhance our listener experience with a new mobile app and a new Apple and Android, an actual app. But the mobile landscape is what I'm really excited about because it's agnostic to the device, whether it's a desktop, an iPad, a smartphone of any type and size. A mobile app scales to that screen automatically. So that's something that we currently have that in operation, but we're going to be enhancing that much greater to add some more efficiencies to it. So we are currently streaming at musicofyourlife.com using our iRadio streaming service. So those are well established. We're simply going to be enhancing that experience with the website, the mobile app, and then the iPhone app. So, and with that, one of the things for me, it's all about advertising revenue. So how are we going to go out and do that? Well, there's some really interesting new forms of advertising with these mobile apps. It's all interactive. You're listening to a song. You touch a button. You purchase the song. We get 10%. Merchandise. You're listening to Bruno Mars. You touched on an ad by Bruno Mars' record label. You just bought the record or a hat or a T-shirt or whatever, and we just received our percentage of that revenue. That's what's happening right now in this mobile landscape, and we're also vying for a place on the in-dash, or they call it the connected car. we feel our iRadio brand is well suited to be in every single vehicle coming out of Detroit and elsewhere, and that's happening in 2015. All these cars are connected using all the cell phone companies, and we're looking for our piece of that real estate as well. So for us, it's all about increasing our technology presence while continuing to produce really quality radio. Now, a lot of people say, oh, there's already too many players. I mean, they all compare Pandora and all these other services. Well, in my opinion, that's not the case whatsoever, because our differentiator is that we use celebrities. We use disc jockeys. We're always going to use disc jockeys. For us, radio is interactive. We want to hear who sang that last song, maybe who wrote it, something about the artist. And the cool thing about our celebrities is a lot of these people have sung those songs or worked with those musicians. And so it's a really great experience for our listeners. Lastly, on that topic, we're going to be launching a paid service. We feel that the best way to make money in this space is to charge a fee to listen. And Sirius XM has been doing it successfully for years now. Their profits are up in this latest quarter in 2014, as well as Slacker Radio. They added 10 million subscribers in 6 months, and half of those are paying, 500,000 of those were paid subscribers. So we feel that the real profitable model in this space is to have a subscription fee-based listenership, as well as an ad-supported free listenership like we currently do.
Well, like you said earlier, as times have changed, technologies have also changed, and the way we do business has changed dramatically. You and I, again, were speaking yesterday, prepping for this interview. One of the things that caught my ears was how lean and mean you run your company. Lean and mean means low burn rate, clients. What does that mean? Expenses, the ratio to revenue. So one of the things that you and your company can use today or facilitate today that wasn't there years ago is more of these proactive as opposed to reactive virtual sales and marketing forces that go out and work different mediums like search engine optimization, SEO, blogs, these types of things that weren't available to radio 10 years ago. How are you going to use these new teams to get the word out, and are you going to use new teams like this? Go ahead, Mark.
Well, absolutely. We have our traditional radio spot sales model has been in place for many years, and we've been with many of the large advertising companies like Katz that bring us ads from the car manufacturers, the cellular companies, etc. However, that model has seen a decrease in profitability over the last few years. But what is seen, I believe, it's about a 16% increase in year over year, is what they call digital ad sales. And that's populating your mobile app, your website, your iPhone app, your Android app with some real estate on that screen that generates revenue for your company. Now, there's an entirely new generation of salespeople that are out there making that happen, and we plan to hire a couple of new folks that are going to be responsible for generating that new digital ad sales revenue.
Well, musicofyourlife.com is the website. Music of Your Life is the name of the company. The ticker symbol is MYLI. We are speaking with the Chief Executive Officer as well as the President for the company, Mark Angel. Mark, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. We know we're hitting you on the Los Angeles freeway or one of those major freeways out there. We appreciate you taking the time to talk with us as well as our potential investors in your company, your existing shareholders. We expect great things from you and your company here in 2014 and beyond, and we look forward to touching base with you again very soon. Thanks for your time today, Mark.
Thank you so much, and don't forget to connect your iPhone to your car and listen to Music of Your Life at musicofyourlife.com.
Absolutely. Well, for Mark Angel, this is Stuart Smith saying thanks so much for listening.
SmallCapVoice.com, today's leader in investor relations, capital formation, and retail support, provides its clients with the highest level of service. Our audio interviews are disseminated to one of the largest opt-in audiences available today. How? We at SmallCapVoice.com believe in aligning and affiliating ourselves with other leaders within the investor relations community. By sharing resources, each affiliated firm is made that much stronger and each client is served that much better. Our focus is to identify and provide the very best financial services and solutions available to clients and their shareholders. For more information about our services, please call us at 512-267-2430 or visit us on the web at www.smallcapvoice.com.